Greetings everyone, I'm your host George Kill and we're here in Portland, Oregon at the Trailblazers practice facility to get another episode of Soul Access. Let's check it out.
What's up, George?
Brent, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Come on in.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
So check it out, we want to get another episode of Soul Access, so we want you to give us a tour of this place.
Awesome, let's do it.
Cool.
This is where part of the magic happens. Got some of our new jerseys for this season hanging up over there. Basically, I'm sizing the guys right now, so I'm hanging one of each size, going from medium all the way to 4X tall. 5X tall in the sleeve jersey because they fit a little bit more snug. So I got my sizes set up there. I have the guys come in whenever they first get into town, throw on the jerseys, see what size fits best, and then work with them on that.
So I see they're planning on retiring your jersey pretty soon.
I don't think it'll be retired anytime soon, but we get a jersey with our name and what year we started whenever we first start with the organization. So a cool little thing that they do that I haven't seen anywhere else. This is a garage, and this is all stuff, luggage, apparel, sweats, practice shorts, anything that you see the guys wearing. This is for the coaches, staff, and players. So this is all coming in new this year. We spend about $250,000 a year on all Adidas product. We don't have anywhere to store it right now, so it's all in the garage. We'll start breaking the boxes out here in a couple weeks once we get the players in. So this is a little bit more secure area. I've got my cabinets here. I had these put in 2 years ago. Space savers. Gives me room for everything that we got going here. So all these shoes are just to outfit the staff to start the season. On this side, these were all specialty shoes from last season. Got some of Dame's, his gold shoes from, what was it, the Oscars night? Yeah, Grammys. And then we got his Rose City debut, which were pretty sweet. We got a few other pairs, Chinese New Year. One of his options they sent.
And Dame is one that you said switches his shoes like consistently all the time.
Yeah, he likes to wear his shoes a lot of games. But what he will do is he won't decide what shoes he wants to wear. So he'll pick out like 4 or 5 pair every game. So he'll put the reds, the blacks, the blues, or the greens, whatever it is, set them all out there and then kind of pick right before the game which ones he wants to wear. So it's a little bit high maintenance, but he's been worth it so far. So then as we go down, I just give each guy their own cubby. As you can tell, these are all last season's models because I haven't gotten all the new shoes in yet. LaMarcus will send about 125 pair a season. So I just kind of separate them by color with his special makeups. I'll do all the blacks up here, the reds down there. You can see we kind of mark them, second half white, second half black. So they'll send some to start the season, then they'll send some for the second half of the season in December, and then they'll do a playoff colorway as well. Let's see, man. Some of these I couldn't even tell you exactly what part of the season they came from. 7. So that's his second half of the season, home white colorway. Our team doesn't have any rules on whether you wear white, black, or at home or on the road. I like everybody to match. We wear white socks at home, black socks on the road. So I try to get the guys in mostly white colorways at home and mostly black colorways on the road, or red, depending on what they're doing. They don't always listen, but you know, there's another version of the black. And I mailed him right after the season ended, about 125 pair, and I've still got all these left over. And I always keep 20 or 30 pair around just if they come in the summer and want to work out and stuff like that. I was telling you about the guy who designed the shoe, and this is the shoe that he designed, kind of the home colorway. This is size 9.5. This is not LaMarcus's, obviously, noticeably smaller. It's one of our season ticket holders. He sits courtside every game. He's disabled, and LaMarcus and Nike worked with him on designing a shoe for LaMarcus to wear. So he designed a black colorway and a white colorway, and had LaMarcus wear them in a game later in the season. So it was a good thing that Nike did get a little bit of awareness for him as well. There's his red. Yeah, a little too much for me. I like them a little bit more plain. They're definitely getting louder and louder. They're trying to cater to the younger generation, and they like all those bright colors. I got a pair of shoes for you. Talk about loud. This is what Nike sent for Wesley Matthews to practice in. And Wesley looked at it and said, I don't know if I can wear that shoe. But that's the way that things are moving right now. The bright yellows, bright oranges, bright pinks, bright greens. You know, and some of the guys are receptive to it, some of the guys aren't. You know, Wesley obviously looked at those and said they're not within our colorway as much as I'd like, so I'm not gonna wear them. But did go with that, where you still get the infrared with the dark red. Like I said, these are all last year's shoes. They'll have maybe 5 or 6 different makes or models to offer each guy. So what they'll do is we'll order them all in all the different sizes, kind of set them all out, let the guys decide what shoe they want to wear, and then we'll stock up on that shoe in all the different colorways for the season.
Since we're getting a new perspective from you, how long does that wear test time take before the season begins for each player?
It's pretty quick. A lot of the guys, it's about look as much as it is feel. So they'll go with what looks good first, and most of them will stick with that. All the shoes have been tested and work really well, so it's rare that a guy will put a shoe on them and say it's just not a very good shoe. So, I mean, all the shoes work really well, so it's more about look, you know, than it is feel, I think. If you get a guy that gets hurt, CJ McCollum broke a bone in his foot last season in the preseason, and then we had to get him in a different shoe that was more stiff and, you know, and didn't bend as much, so once he had healed. So, and then it was more about function than it was look. But each guy gets their own cubby. Obviously a special makeup guy like LaMarcus, Wesley, Chris Kamen's one, Mo Williams was one last year. We'll do a full row, depending on how much they need. A rookie, he obviously will get less shoes throughout the season, so that's when he'll get a single square type setup. So you work your way up into owning that full cubby.
And you've been doing this for 3 years, and I think you're about to embark on your first signature athlete that you've had. So tell us how you prepare in that type of situation.
Those guys are pretty easy to take care of because everything's catered towards them with their own shoe. So I think it's going to be a lot easier. So I'll have a lot more inventory and things like that, a lot more storage. But when it comes down to what shoe he wants to wear, it's pretty basic. It's all about colors after that, which is easy. It's hard for a guy who doesn't have a signature shoe, who doesn't know what shoe he wants to wear, because then there's a lot more options. I had Myers Leonard, I think, change shoes 4 times last year. So that's when you're, you know, from game to game, like, I don't know. Or if they don't play well, maybe the shoe doesn't feel very good, you slightly sprain an ankle or something like that. They're double taping, my foot doesn't fit in the shoe anymore because they double taped. So, and I'll call Nike and they'll send 3 more pair and go, which ones do you like now? And try to figure all that out, so.
Tell us more about these. I think it's kind of cool in your job that you get to kind of have some kind of say-so in the design of this.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, who knows the room better than me? I'm back here all the time. I'm doing all the stocking, all the ordering as well, so I know exactly how many units of everything I have coming. So no better person to try to design a room to store everything than the person who's actually doing all the stocking. So, so yeah, this was something I really pushed for. They were expensive. I didn't know if they were going to be able to get them, but in the end it worked out. My boss was great. Got it all pushed through budget-wise. And got them here and at our arena. So it was about $100,000 for these cabinets alone. Thomas Robinson and Joel Freeland wore the same size shoe and the same shoe last year. Like I said, and Myers Leonard. But I just kind of filled their shoes up with all the same size and same shoe. So I just had different colorways. And then I have Victor Claver here. He was pretty basic too. He wore the same shoe, just one size below. These 15.5s are pretty rare. Once you get over 14, they don't make half sizes. He was an in-between, so they made him some special 15.5s to fit him. 15.5, 16.5, those are really hard to get, and typically a special makeup, a special model that you have to find. There's a Hyper Rev. All the guys tried to wear that. It's got a little booty instead of a tongue to where it doesn't spread out. So once you put orthotics in there, almost all the guys wear orthotics. You got to take the insole out, put the orthotic in. It's a lot of the guys' feet sat too high to where it wouldn't fit in the booty with the tape and everything else. So a lot of guys liked the shoe but couldn't really wear it because it didn't fit properly. So you get a bunch of pair of Hyper Revs sitting around, size 16s and 17s that, yeah, cut about 5 inches off of them, then I'd be able to fit in them. And then we get into all the apparel. Start out with the bottom stuff. We've got all the compression over here. One thing that's gotten really big the last 3 years is the long tights. You see all the guys wearing the long tights now. The thing that makes you have to have so much stuff is you need to have about 7 sets of everything. So I have a road practice set, a road shoot around set, a home shoot around set, a home practice set, a backup practice set, a game set for the road, and a game set for home. So no matter what a guy wears, you have to have one of everything for every one of those sets. It's been nice working with Adidas, and their product's getting a lot better every year, which is good for us. And they're definitely listening to equipment managers, listening to the players, and trying to outfit the players with what they want.
A lot of players wear these like things that cut right here. I don't know what they are. It's like, they look like capri pants, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we call them huckleberries, but I'm from the South, so you get your huck fins on, and but yeah, they're wearing the 3/4, the capris, whatever you want to call them. And right when you get those in and get everything stocked, they're going to come up with some other style they want to wear, and that's going to be out of style anyway. Here's the new game shorts with the logo moved. You can see it's up here now. It used to be down on the bottom of the leg. Come on into the locker room. We'll start over here with the new addition, Chris Kaman. He's wearing the Hyperfuse, the same shoe he wore last year, and this is actually last year's model because we haven't got the new one in. And he wears a 17. You can see every guy's got a pair of shower shoes. Can't live without these. We don't want anybody getting athlete's feet or anything else. I order running shoes for all the guys as well in the off season because we'll take the guys over to the track, local high school track, and they'll do some sprints and things like that. So I always have some running shoes for the guys as well. Obviously the weather's not the greatest in the winter, but in the summer, Portland's a great place to be. And
talk about Darrell Wright, because we've talked to him on a number of occasions about signing to Dwayne Wade's brand, and I see they have a limitless amount of colorways for him.
Yeah. It took till about mid-season last season before they kind of got down exactly what he wanted. He was wearing Dwayne Wade's signature shoe for the first month and didn't really like it. So he did like just kind of their team shoe that they have. And so they've got a rep that deals pretty much with him and Dwayne Wade, maybe a few other their athletes, and he came up and did some special makeups for him. You can see his orthotic, most colorful orthotic that they make. So we do the same thing, take the insole out, and then actually we'll cut the orthotic ourselves to shape it to the shoe, and then put it back in the shoe, and then he's ready to go. And then they even sent some bright greens for Green Week. They sent some purple ones for MLK and Black History Month, which was pretty cool, so they take pretty good care of him. Get to Myers. You can see him. He hasn't decided what shoe he really likes. This is a Zoom shoulder, and he cuts the strap off, so you don't have the crown on the front of there. But they don't make this shoe anymore, and it's hard to get. I think 3 pair left. He finally ripped through 2 of them the other day, and now he's down to 1. So we got to figure out what kind of shoe he wants to play in this season. He wore these in the other day, which are the old school LeBrons, which are pretty cool.
You have to have that all red one around here somewhere. Is that, you probably put that away?
Yeah, I think he took it home. At the end of the season, that was actually the main shoe that he came and asked me for. He's like, I don't know where it's at. It's at the arena or in your road bag or whatever, but I got to make sure I get that one back. So I think I did ship it to him afterwards. CJ he went on Nike ID and made a few of his special colorways for himself. Like I said earlier, he's the one that broke the bone in his foot. He was wearing the Kobe with that, and it's just a lighter, more flexible shoe. So we moved to the Hyperfuse. That's a little bit more stiff, gives him a little bit more support. There's one of his special colorway he came up with, and that's a Zoom Soldier as well, so a little bit different than the Hyperfuse, but still gives you a pretty good amount of support. This is what Damien's going to be playing in to start the season this season. Like you said, he's coming up with his own signature shoe. I'm sure it'll fit Dame pretty well. I know he wants to go to like a lower top shoe, which is just kind of a mid or a lower top shoe that he likes. So.
And we're not gonna ask you to, tell us too much about the new upcoming signature, but if you could tell us, from seeing it on the other side, if you can give us one word to describe it, what would you say?
One word to describe it. Streamline. I think it'll be a shoe that people like wearing around and on court. Every game I would come up, and this is the setup I would do. Not knowing which shoes he wanted to wear. On the road, at home, I'd put them all out there like that, have his locker all set up. So he walks in, he sits down, he starts getting dressed, and then he'll come up, he'll put this pair on to warm up, and then come back in and switch it out and put that pair on for the game. And then it got where Adidas said, we want you in these shoes. And he would say, well, sometimes I want to wear them, sometimes I don't. So It's all on the players and what they feel most comfortable in. Look good, feel good, play good, and that's what it's all about. So.
And I know being in this locker room, I'm sure you've witnessed a few 4-bar Fridays.
I have. One of our coaches actually does a little 4-bar Fridays during the season on Fridays before the games, and I've seen a few of those. But yeah, those guys are good. I don't mess with any of that stuff. That's a little out of my league. Steve Blake's new. He's got a few different pair. He likes wearing the Kobe. In LA, he'll do. Here's a colorway I don't think I showed you in there. That was his playoff colorway from last season, which was pretty nice. A little bit busy up here, but I do like how it shines, and you can definitely see it on the court. So, but he's the same. I would set 3 or 4 pair of shoes up for him. Each game, put them all out there. He pretty much sticks to black with black socks, white with white socks, and then he'll throw the reds in kind of when he feels like it. So.
And Brent, whatever shoe he was playing in for games 1 and 2 against the Rockets, that's the shoe you need to keep him in.
Believe me, we did. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that, so every now and then you come down to earth. Nick's obviously playing overseas right now with the France national team, so I don't even have any shoes in his locker. I don't know what he's going to be wearing whenever he comes in. He wears his shoes until you get holes in them and his foot goes through the end, and then he gets upset and doesn't want to try a new pair of shoes on. I can barely get him to break in a new pair of shoes. You get that, and then you get a guy that wants a new pair of shoes, every day. Darrell wears a new pair of shoes every game. Yeah. So the max he'll wear them is maybe 2 games, but he doesn't like the broken in feel. He likes it to be stiff and really have that new shoe feel every game. Wesley's tough. We did some special makeups for him last year that are pretty nice. There's another one of the special makeups. I don't know what he does, but one of his main problems is after 2 or 3 games, the whole sole right here will just start to rip off. I think because he's got so much weight and moves so fast when he's running and stopping. I don't know what it is about rolling that toe over right there, but this always rips off. And last year, I think I had to glue about 5 pair of shoes because they'll start to rip, and I get some shoe glue, push it all, and then I'll wrap it up with tape, let it sit overnight, and I'll get another game out of it before it rips again. On to Thomas Robinson. He's always changing. He's an interesting guy. He likes all the bright colors. There's some personal walk-around shoes. Those are his MLKs from last year. He wanted to switch out the shoestrings to be a little bit different, so we went some red shoestrings. He brought out the pennies for a couple games. I don't even know what those things are. And then he's got his Hyper Dunks that he played in most of the season last season.
Would you say Thomas Robinson is the biggest sneakerhead on the team?
It's probably between him and Myers. Like I said, Myers is a pretty big sneakerhead, but Thomas definitely is right up there with him. I haven't been to Thomas's house, but he told me he's got over 250 pair of shoes just in his bedroom, stacked up that he'll wear one time and put them back in the box, and who knows when he'll break them back out again. So Under Armour takes good care of Will the Thrill. He's got all kinds of different shoes, and he actually just cleaned his locker out, so this is the cleanest his locker's ever been. Those are some new ones. There's the red colorway of his newest edition that he'll probably wear to start the season.
So now we get to what I feel is the most interesting man on the team, shoe-wise, Robin Lopez. Tell us about him and his artistic behavior on his shoes.
Well, first of all, he wears the biggest shoe on the team, which is a 20. So he's got a lot of canvas to work with. As you can see, I think he started doing this towards the end of the season. I think it was in the playoffs is when he started coming up with all his little artistic designs. He grabs a Sharpie, whether it be on the plane, in a hotel, or at home, and he just starts drawing on his shoes. He comes back into my equipment room and asks me for a new pair of shoes that he can draw on, every 3 or 4 days, and he'll carry the box around that I give him with the shoes in there, half drawn, and his Sharpie inside the box. He brings it on the plane, brings it on the buses, and it's pretty cool. He does some pretty awesome work. As you know, Wes is known as Iron Man, so it had a picture of Iron Man all around his shoes, and Wes took the pair home and kept them. He was going to play in them, and he said they looked too cool, so he didn't want to mess them up. As you can see, the design gets all smeared from playing in them. But he's kind of got a little design for his hair right there, kind of like a Sideshow Bob. his numbers right there. I would guess just whatever he's feeling at the time, and kind of just brings his personality into it. This is our training room. We remodeled a couple years ago. State of the art. It's pretty awesome, bright. Gives everybody all the tools to do their job, keep the players healthy. We were really fortunate last year to have one of the healthiest teams in the league. I think 4 out of our 5 starters started all 82 games, which is unheard of. So hopefully we can carry that over. State-of-the-art weight room. This was all remodeled as well. We got a beautiful facility here. We're lucky.
I remember you guys came to San Antonio and I saw every one of the players weighing themselves after the game. What is the significance of that?
Yeah, we were carrying a scale. Mostly it was for hydration. You can weigh him before the game and then after the game to see how much fluid he lost. So I think what we were looking for, not we, what our athletic training staff was looking for, was how much weight they lost during the game to see how much fluid they need to be drinking to sustain their weight. And that way you keep them as hydrated as they were when they started the game. So we did all kinds of little interesting tests last year to see kind of what works, what doesn't work, and so I think that's what that was part of.
So Brent, before we close, tell us how you got your start in this.
I have a pretty unique path to the NBA. I actually moved to San Diego right after high school, and my neighbor was a ball boy growing up for the Golden State Warriors. So he graduated college, moved up to the Bay Area to be an assistant equipment manager up there. So I went and visited him a few times and went to a few Warriors games, met Eric Housen, the equipment manager with the Warriors, became good friends with him, and he called me when he had a position open and asked me if I wanted to move up and work with the Warriors. So I had never worked in basketball, never watched much basketball, so I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but figured it'd be fun for a year or so. And 10 years later, here I am, still in the NBA. So I was the assistant equipment manager with them for 6 seasons. Portland had a position open up here, and so I applied, went through a few interviews, got a little nervous, ended up getting the position, and it's worked out really well.
All right, and shout out to Eric, one of the hardest working people in the industry.
Most definitely, most definitely. Big shout out to Eric. Taught me most everything I know, and great guy.
Well, Brent, thank you for taking out the time to, give us a tour, man.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, see you soon.
Yes, sir.